Hello, Meow Wolf. My name is Matt Worldly, and this is Metamorphus. And this is what it looks like in the dark. Metamorphos is actually 3 words combined into one. It's meta, morph, us. It's a spiritual call to action that says we demand rapid change now. And that's what this space is. It's a 7-step transformative meditation portal. And those 7 steps are depicted by images that I've painted on the wall over the past month. Each one of the steps in Metamorphos, each one of these images, is actually designed to break the layers of our subconscious in order for us to open up in here and have an authentic experience. Oftentimes, when you're struggling in life, we tend to focus on this being the problem when it's really this over here. And I want Metamorphos to help people get from here to here and walk out of this place feeling like they have gained clarity and they have a new perspective on the world. Now, before I go into the 7 steps of transformation, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the lighting arrangement in Metamorphos. All of the lighting arrangements in Metamorphos are completely unique because they're all refractions of laser and LED light. So I find really unique glass objects from thrift stores or just transparent objects in general, and I use those to refract light in order to tear it apart and make it look like outer space, to make it look like it's flowing through the cosmos. And what I learned is that laser actually picks up on the 3-dimensional properties of glass. So I'm actually able to turn these 2-dimensional surfaces into 3-dimensional portals because they have 3-dimensional texture that is being refracted onto the walls, just like this. Now, there are 7 steps to Metamorphos: observation, reflection, awareness, death, meditation, perspective, and rebirth. All of these steps are designed to break the layers of our subconscious, to sort of halt our defenses in order for us to open up and actually connect with our spirit. So this first wall, observation, is all about seeing the bigger picture and not having tunnel vision and being focused on one particular aspect of your life. So you can see that as a whole, there are 2 people here standing side by side, and they're holding hands, and their hands create an upside-down heart, which is over a cocoon. So these 2 beings are holding love over a cocoon during its metamorphosis process. So if you look inside of their bodies, you'll see these big, beautiful circles. These big, beautiful circles can be flowers, eggs, or eyes, depending on how you look at it. So if you look at them as eyes, then you can correlate them with this nose and this mouth, and then you have this giant being looking back at you. And if you shift your perspective, there's actually 3 sets of eyes. And if you look even closer, you'll see that the 2 flowers with the beautiful petals are actually facing each other, and they're meditating like this. Now, if you even take a farther step away, you'll see that in its entirety, this image looks like a lion. And that's what this first step is all about, is taking a step back in order to see the bigger picture. So that's step 1. Step 2 is reflection. The next step to Metamorphos is reflection. So after you observe something and you've really taken time to pick it apart and expand your perception of what you see, then you have to reflect on it and understand it from many perspectives. And the perspective that this wall offers is that everything that's happening on a very small scale is actually happening on a much larger scale too. And DNA connects every being and everything from here to across the universe. So this wall is to depict that we are essentially a reflection of DNA. You can see there's the chest area, there's the stomach, and then there's feet, and this beautiful Mother Nature DNA is holding the hands and connecting with its children. So what this wall represents is understanding the beauty that lies within you, the structure, and everything that is, and when we see beauty outside, we're actually recognizing that the beauty is within us. So before we can progress to the next phase of Metamorphos, we have to understand that the essence of who we are is programmed to be beautiful. The next step of Metamorphos is awareness. So after you have observed something and you reflect on it, you begin to understand it, and then you become aware. When you become aware, you step into a new kingdom of thinking and understanding. And this kingdom happens to be a whole nother world than the one that we're used to. So you can see there are some similarities. There are 3 pyramids with beams shooting out of the top. And the reason why I've chosen to draw these in the wall of awareness is so that people understand that this universe and how we communicate and these tools and the symbolisms that we use are very related and not as foreign as we would assume. So you can see there are 3 pyramids, and this is how this civilization communicates with other worlds across the universe. You can also see that there is a swastika and a crucifix here. I've chosen these symbols because of their impact and influence on the world, and to show people that these symbols are not necessarily what we've been told they are. So the crucifix is really just a plus and a minus sign stuck together. So there are obviously subconscious connections with these symbols because they are simple and they connect us to the essence of what makes this reality work. Now at the top of the pyramid there's a swastika. I've chosen this symbol to really allow people to open up and understand that these symbols aren't our symbols. They are symbols that have been inherited from across the universe, and how we use them is completely up to us. So the swastika isn't necessarily an evil symbol as much as it is just a symbol, but a symbol of love and peace and unity. So when you become aware of these things, you have 2 choices. You can live with this awareness and you can ignore it, or you can step into this awareness and you can allow a part of you to die, like a snake shedding its skin. The 4th step of Metamorphos is death. And this is where we step into our awareness and we realize that perhaps the way we've been thinking, a way we've been treating other people, or the way we see the world no longer serves us anymore. And in this image, I've used the octopus to depict the shadow, because the octopus has many legs, and the shadow comes in many forms, whether it's the shadow of depression, the shadow of guilt, the shadow of sex, alcoholism, self-doubt. It's all the shadow. And realizing that this is an actual entity, an archetypal energy that exists within all of us is how we begin to form a new relationship with this being. So in this world, wherever this world may be, this dark energy also exists. And you can see these 2 beings are fighting off this dark energy, and they're protecting themselves from it. And that's exactly what we have to do when this shadow being arises in our psyche, in our subconscious. It's important for us to realize that it is an actual being and that we can call it out in order to move past it. So if we allow ourselves, or a piece of ourselves, to actually die and to let it go, that is not always easy. Some people immediately go into a relapse. Some people, they get stuck and they don't know what to do. And that brings us to the next wall, the next step of Metamorphos, which is meditation. This is the 5th step of Metamorphos. This is the wall of meditation. And this is where we come after we have become aware and we have experienced an ego death. This is where we sit and we meditate and we breathe through what we're experiencing. This is essentially a cosmic access point where you can seek and find the answers that you're looking for. This is a sacred being that has seen the death of many universes and understands the psyche and the subconscious and who we are as humans. So as we come and sit in this spot, we can connect with the divine entity that will help us and give us clarity. So, Once we have gone through meditation and we have breathed through this new experience, that's when we open our eyes and we go to the next step of Metamorphos, which is perspective. The fifth step to Metamorphos is perspective. And this is the wall where we get an entirely new look at life. Essentially, we're seeing the world through new eyes because through this process, we have been able to give ourselves a breath of fresh air on how we see ourselves and how we see the world. So after we have an ego death, and we meditate, and we breathe through it, then we open our eyes, and everything is sharp, and it's clear, and it makes sense, and it's beautiful, but yet there's still so much unknown. There's still so much to be figured out, because there are endless possibilities, and there's so much happening beyond the world that we know. And that's what this wall represents. This wall is like looking and catching a glimpse into an entirely different universe. There's so many things happening in here that don't go along with what we know and what we're familiar with in our world, but yet there is a lot that is still relatively the same. So this wall represents the third eye just being blown right open and the beginning of the phoenix rising from the ashes. And after we gain a new perspective on life, that's when we go through the cocoon, and that's when we experience rebirth. So after you gain a new perspective, then you enter the seventh and the last phase of Metamorphos, which is rebirth. The moment when you step into the realization that we are and always will be infinity, and we are immortal. The essence of our soul is everlasting, and we are constantly rising up and gaining clarity and moving through life with the intention to thrive. And the strength that exists within all of us is a beautiful phoenix, bird, bug thing that is absolutely breathtaking and an image that you could just never forget. So that's the seventh step of Metamorphos, is really facing your soul and saying, wow, I am infinite and I am this beautiful being and I deserve to live a fulfilled life. Alright, so that was Metamorphos in a nutshell. I hope that you find this worth investing in, and I hope that all of this makes sense to you. I believe that this space has the potential to change lives because it is natural medicine and it is a psychedelically induced journey without the use of psychedelics. So it's natural medicine. It's a place welcome to every age range, whether you're 5 or you're 60 years old. You can find inner peace because this place is a sacred temple. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you.